Okay, awesome. So my dad told me that I should do one of these. I think it probably works better for the future games, but if we're going to do one for all the future games, it was going to bug me if we didn't do one for the first game. So this one's going to take a little bit of a different format, but you'll see the game. It'll be recorded. I will, kind of have my commentary on it. Is this going? There we go. We're good. Okay. So this was my game against Roy, and I'm just going to run you through my thought process just so we have a video for this first game. He goes e4, I play the Sicilian, and we actually make it pretty far into theory here. As you can see, this is all book move. This is about to be the Najdorf. The idea of the Najdorf is you kind of come and attack this, and they have to defend. This is the Najdorf right here, is this pawn move. And then he makes this move. And frankly, I studied the Najdorf pretty extensively, but no one ever played this far, so I forgot all of my prep. And I knew that this move happened a lot in a lot of the games. It's apparently not the move to make here. But anyway, so I kick him out, and then my next plan is to go here, pick this knight, and then grab this pawn. I'm kind of focusing on that pawn because I know it's weak. It doesn't have a lot of support. The queen's not really supporting it. Well, you would go there. But I knew that pawn was weak, so I'm aiming for that pawn. He moves the bishop. This is a problem for me here. So I decide to take because I felt like I had to. This knight worried me because I've gotten this position a lot before. With the knight on d5, it can also often be pretty deadly in the Sicilian. But I think here I'm okay, and I'm still just going to aim for that pawn. Before I do that, I realized I had to dislodge this knight to get to that pawn. So I think my plan was originally to go here, but I think I was worried about some move like this or something. So I'm kind of gaining flexibility by aiming over there as well. He comes over here, kind of the only move. Not too concerned about a trade because I think I win that. Excuse me. He comes back here, and now it's hard for me to get my knight here. It's hard for me to get my knight here. How am I going to dislodge this knight? I still haven't even moved the bishop over here to attack the pawn. But that's what I do next. So now I'm kind of preparing to spring my trap. I'm not worried about a piece moving to this square because I've kind of got it double guarded. And so kind of whoever moves there first loses. So no one's going to. He castles. I bring the bishop here. The idea, again, is to dislodge the knight. This bishop really wasn't doing anything on this square other than preventing me from castling. This is just going to be an even trade, and his pawn's going to be hanging at the end of it. I should have spent more time looking at this move. I just saw his knight move out of the way. I said, all right, the pawn's free. That's what I've been doing. I'm not even going to question the pawn. He kicks me, and instead of thinking, why did he move his knight there? I thought, well, if I move my bishop down here, like I'm gonna get traded. I was looking at this because like it'll be an open file, and I was thinking maybe I could like rotate my queen out here somewhere, maybe like this. But I just didn't like the doubled pawns because I was kind of planning on castling that way. And castling this way looks atrocious, as you'll see in a bit. You know, you've got the bishop that wants to come in, you've got the queen that wants to come in. There's just an open file right here in general. So I was like, that seems bad. So I was like, I'm just going to move my bishop back. Ain't nothing wrong. It's going to kind of keep pressuring this pawn. Maybe I can get the queen over here eventually and build some pressure. Instead, he says, how about I just like ruin your day? And this sucked. I almost resigned here because it's awful. Obviously, I have to move my queen, but more than that, he's got a double attack on this. He's going to win his pawn back with interest because, you know, I moved my queen here, which is what ends up happening. I was kind of hoping he would take with the queen, and then I could just trade the queen off and then not have to worry about an attack, and he'd still get my bishop, but not to be. Took for the knight. I was looking at this position, and what I saw was that after he takes here, the knight guards this square, and then the rook guards all the squares down here. So his knight's going to not have a lot of places to go after it takes me. So I was kind of hoping that I could eventually kind of scooch my king in, because this is the only available square, and then grab it. Of course, completely forgetting about that. That's fun. But so that's what happens. I scooch my king in, he leaves. I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't an option because I wanted to grab this. I mean, not that it's super trapped here. Like even if this wasn't here, he could still kind of go back and like maybe it looks awkward, but like so does a king on b6. So currently I'm looking at plus 7.9, almost plus 8, not in my favor. Computer didn't like this move. I like that move. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I guess it was telling me that this was the best move. I looked at that move. I looked at that move for a while, and I was just afraid it was just not going to be good enough. Yeah. One of the things that was really on my mind, like this whole game, was getting a check on this diagonal with the queen. I was dying to have a check on that diagonal, and I just could not figure out how to do that. I think I was even looking at some sort of like sack the knight to get the check, but like I couldn't really do anything after that. Like the king, let's see, can we get that? So over here, I was looking at this, this, but like the knight's safe, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted it. I wanted it really badly. So that's not what happened. Instead, we go here. Still planning on some kind of discovered thing because again, if I were to sack my knight there, this is an option. Really trying to make that work and just not really seeing it. He brings his queen in, which is completely devastating to my cause. This, well, I guess I can't do it because it's not my turn. But this forces this move, which this can follow up with checkmate. You have an idea what that looks like. So if he goes here, that's checkmate. And I saw that and I was like, that's not great. But this, interestingly enough, is not checkmate. I've got chances, not great ones, but you know, chances. So I say, well, I can't let him go there. I come here. Obviously, this is a little bit for. Can I not draw an arrow? There's been a weird issue with chess.com not allowing arrows to draw up. But imagine there's an arrow going up that way. So he's pretty much forced to do something. He's obviously not going to come here anymore because of that. He goes check. I almost typed in chat here. I was like, I'm not even afraid. Not because I was confident, but because I thought it'd be funny. I go there. He comes in there. Kind of sucks. And then ultimately, you know, this knight is safe. You know. Now here, I think his idea was, well, I'm +3, so I'm going to just trade off material. But I think the knight is better. I think, you know, the way I was looking at this, like my knight is pretty much going to be dead sooner and or later. And so if you're going to offer me a trade of the knight, I'm going to take that because this hasn't even moved off its starting square. Whereas this knight, I mean, where would be maybe a better place for this? Like here, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you could even like get some sort of like situation here, you know, like where it's guarded. Obviously, that's not how it's going to play out. But you know, if I move my queen over here, then this is checkmate. So maybe something along those lines. Still not letting me draw the arrows. But yeah, I didn't think that knight move was good. I was very happy to trade that knight off, just because he only has, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and 2 of them are in attack, and now only one of them's in the attack. Although you could argue the bishop and rook could be activated very easily. He goes there. I go here with kind of ideas to hide out here if I need to. I thought about going here, but I felt like it was running into trouble unnecessarily. So I run over here with, I say, I'll hide over here if you need me to. He goes there. I'm a little worried about this, but I have an idea. What was my idea? Well, I guess I go here. That's my idea. My idea is to attack this, defend this, and then I know what my idea was. My idea was to try and get to this square, and fork these pieces. Of course, he can kind of, well, it doesn't matter because I would take the pawn. But I'm down in material, and I'm kind of screwed. He makes that move. And I realized that I can go here. And his queen is almost trapped. I was hoping it was trapped, but it's not. You know, queen, rook, safe, queen, 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 pawn, or king. So it's very much almost trapped. Queen obviously takes that. Hello. Good. I'm making a recording. How are you? It's fine. um, so so I realized that this is a good move because this is going to be double attack. Yeah, it's a chess video. Because this is going to be double attacked, and at the very least, I'm going to win that pawn, which is nice for me because I'm 4 behind, which is not great. 4 behind immaterial. He goes there, and I don't know if I'd say I was hoping for him to do this, but I anticipated him doing this because this is the kind of follow-up. This stays guarded. These spots are still pretty much impenetrable, and this pawn is still ready to fall, except now the bishop's also going to fall. Computer says this is a blunder. The actual line here is ridiculous, and I think what he did was totally fair. I think his idea was just get me out of here, let me leave before I'm totally trapped, because this would have been really bad news for him. So I think that's a totally reasonable move to make. The computer's top line is, I think, to go here, which is just completely unfindable. And then if here, what is it? I think you takes b5, right? And then I guess you're fine or something. I guess you still have your advantage because you can take back, but they're completely unfindable. Instead, he makes a human move. I take the bishop. He moves there, and I spent a while on this move. I was looking at this, but I was afraid that he would kind of keep checking me. And ultimately, I just played it safe and said, you literally don't have, oh, apparently that was top engine move, but whatever. Oh yeah, because I didn't want to trade the queens. I was starting to get happy with my position. If this comes, he can force a queen trade because this is hit and this is hit. And I didn't really want that. So I just went here, kept it safe. There's nothing he can do because that's there. There's no kind of angle that he can hit me. I just said that's the safest thing I can do. I'm going to do it. He brings the pawn up, and I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. I mentioned to you earlier, I finally get to check on that diagonal. I didn't know what he was going to do there. I didn't really care. I don't know if this is better, maybe, because it like reinforces the pawn somewhat. What does it say? Does it say rook f2? It looks rook f2. But in any way, it says king h1 is top engine rook, which is what he does. And then I get to take this with tempo, which was just, it felt so good to finally not be fully losing. I think this is the first time I'm even in material, 10 moves. Ton of pressure here. Again, the computer calls this a blunder. I don't know. I don't know if I would call that a blunder, really. Maybe it calls it a blunder because this is undefended. But I don't know how you'd really go about defending that. Maybe that, because the queen can't come here. But I'm tempted to come down here with ideas of lining up and just making you have a bad day. Although it's stoppable with rook g1. So, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I guess that was best. But even so, this pawn is weak, and then they can be, you can slide your queen in here, and then if you try and guard it, then I can, take you and it's protected. It's not great. Anyway, he doesn't do that. He goes here, and I said, oh, if you take me,